Today's story is titled Girls, and it is written by Mrinal Pandey, a woman. She's a feminist, and she has been writing for a long time about the myriad ways in which girls suffer in our society. But unlike many feminists that I have had the good fortune or bad fortune to encounter, she's very balanced, very sensible, very rational in the way she handles the issue. For example, she does not lay the entire blame for all women's woes and sufferings on men alone. Listen to the story and you will see how much of the oppression in traditional Indian families of girls, of women, is carried on under the aegis of women, where men are hardly around to impose their will. Or, as you will see, there are only two male characters in the story hovering in the background, and both of them have left a positive impact on the little girl who is the protagonist, quite unlike the women that she has had to encounter. Here is the story. The day we left with Ma for Nani's house, Babu broke a surahi. I don't know whether he did it on purpose or by accident, but anyway, the floor was flooded with water. Ma held up her sari and called Saru's mother, who was trying to eavesdrop from the adjacent room, to mop up the water, because if someone were to slip and break the bones, it would be yet another problem. To Ma, everything in life was a problem. As far as she was concerned, whether we were at home or at school, ill or just playing around, we were a problem. While mopping the floor, Saru's mother looked up at Ma and asked, "This time you'll be away for at least 3 months, won't you?" Ma squatted down and said, "Yes, they won't allow me to come back sooner." She turned to me and ordered me to go out and play. I always seem to turn up at the wrong time and at the wrong place. As I was leaving the room, I managed to pick up a piece of the broken surahi which I enjoyed sucking, and I overheard Ma addressing either Saru's mother or the cobwebs hanging from the roof. "I hope it's a boy this time. It'll relieve me of the nuisance of going through another pregnancy." I could just imagine Saru's mother in her usual manner shaking her head and saying, "Why not? Why not?" When we reached the station, I scrambled onto the train, fought my way through people and luggage, and secured a place next to the window. Triumphantly, I stuck my tongue out at everyone and went, "Ee, ee." But when I noticed Ma's gaze turning towards me, I immediately started chanting the alphabet, E for Imli, E for Eek. Ma was actually not looking at me though, because she was preoccupied with all her problems. She had to mind the luggage, the wobbling surahi, the three of us, and cope with the exhaustion of pregnancy as well. At one of the stations, we bought a lot of samosas filled with chilies. Just when we were buying them, a woman was making her child urinate through the next window. The sight made me feel quite nauseous, and I couldn't eat my samosa, so I gave it to Ma instead. Meanwhile, I crushed a piece of potato which was lying on the seat into the shape of an insect to frighten my younger sister. She screamed, Ma smacked me, and I started to cry as well. My elder sister was irritated and said, "Oh, what a nuisance you are." Despite her irritation, I knew it was only my elder sister who really loved me. Everyone else was horrible. Mama was waiting to receive us at the station. On the way to Nani's, I sat next to Mami and noticed the rubies in her earlobes bobbing up and down while she chewed pan. Every time the driver pressed the jeep's horn, my sisters and I would scream in unison, "Poo! Poo!" The driver was amused at our screaming, and when we reached the house, he lifted me and my younger sister out of the jeep. He had a huge moustache, smelt of tea and bidis, and wore a uniform made of coarse wool, which tickled me and made me feel sleepy. When the surahi was lifted out of the jeep, it overturned, and once again there was water everywhere. This incident reminded me so much of Babu, that absent-mindedly I trod hard on my younger sister's sandal, nearly tipping her up. "You are the cause of all my problems," Ma hissed at me through tightly clenched teeth so that no one could hear. She then grabbed hold of my arm as if to prevent me from falling over, but actually pressed it so hard that my shoulder hurt. I thought of Babu because whenever we came to Nani's house, he never accompanied us. And as soon as we arrived, Ma would be lost in the company of Mausis, Mummies, Nani, and old maid servants. If you tried going near her during the day, someone or other would say, "Let the poor thing have some rest at least while she's here." Ma too would put on a pathetic act as if we always had her at home. I felt disgusted at the thought of entering Nani's house, so I deliberately loitered near the bushes. A mongrel dog came near and sniffed at me. Then I heard someone mentioning my name inside the house and saying, "Now where has she disappeared?" I entered the house along with the dog and saw Nani sitting with Mama's son on her lap. As soon as she saw the dog, she shooed it away because to her all animals were untouchables. The dog, used to being reprimanded, tucked its tail between its legs and went out. I was told to bend down and touch Nani's feet. Someone from the family said, "Not like that, bend properly. You are born a girl and you'll have to bend for the rest of your life, so you might as well learn." Nani blessed me by waving her hand over my bowed back and said, "This girl hasn't grown taller. Who would believe she's 8 years old?" "Oh, what a nuisance this is," Ma kept complaining. The old lady from the neighborhood who had come to see Ma told Nani, "This time Lali will definitely have a boy. Just look at her complexion. When she was expecting the girls, it was pink, but now it has a tinge of yellow. I'm sure it'll be the boy this time." "Who knows, perhaps even this time," moaned Ma as she put on a pathetic expression and began paring her nails. "Is there anyone to cook for your husband?" asked the old lady. Her question set me thinking about Babu, how good he smelled and the softness of his lap, and how when he came here, Ma did not allow us to lie in her lap for too long and complained, "Oh, my bones are aching, my sari is all crushed. Get up now. I have such a lot of work to do, and to top it all, there is this huge nuisance. Come on, get up." Nani folded her hands and prayed, "Oh Goddess, protect my honor. At least this time let her take her son back from her parents' home." At the end of her prayer, she dried her tears with her pallu. From the corner of my eyes, I could see that my sisters were fast asleep. All the lights had been switched off and the room was flooded with moonlight. Tulsa Dai was applying oil to the soles of Ma's feet and saying, "If it's a boy this time, I will demand a sari with stainless steel zari. If I have a boy this time, then I'll be relieved of this burden forever," she tells Tulsa Dai, and then adds, "You can go home now. Your children must be waiting for you. Be sure you put the oil vessel under the bed, otherwise one of these kids will kick it over in the morning." A bad omen. Whenever Ma left a sentence unfinished, it seemed to loom in the air like the ticking of the clock. I wonder why grown-ups always complete their sentences when they are talking about pleasant things, but always leave them unfinished if it is something unpleasant. Like, "a woman's fate," or "oh, 3 girls." There's always silence after these half-statements. There's a bright star in the sky tonight. Is that the Dhruva star? Babu used to say that if I worked hard, I could become anything I wanted, just as Dhruva became a star. "But I can't become a boy, can I?" I once asked obstinately. I was surprised at Babu's reaction when he put on a serious look and said sternly, "Don't argue with your elders now." I find it difficult to understand them. My elder sister says one should never trust grown-ups because if they want to know something, they will prize it out of you by hook or by crook. But they themselves will never tell you a thing. It's true, nobody ever tells us anything. In this place, it's when we go to sleep that the world of the elders awakens, opening like a magic casket. I want to stay awake and listen. I don't know why I fall asleep halfway through. I wonder whose voice it is now. It seems as if someone is crying in suppressed tones. Is it Choti Masi? "I don't get as much respect as a dog does in that house," she tells Ma. I wonder where she is treated worse than a dog. Then I hear Ma telling her, "All of us suffer like that. One just has to endure it." My eyes shut and I fall asleep. The next morning, when everyone is having breakfast, I ask Ma what endure means. I remind her by asking, "What does Choti Masi have to endure?" I get one light slap, then a harder one. But before Ma strikes me again, Mommy saves me and says, "Let it be, she's only a child after all." "She's no child, she's a witch," says Ma as her stomach wobbles in anger. "She's always listening on the sly to elders talking. Heaven knows what will become of her." When I go into the garden, my elder sister shakes the flowers she has gathered at me. "Oh, I have told you 100 times not to question grown-ups. If you keep on like this, one day these people will beat you so hard you will die." "I will ask questions. I will. I answer, crying. "Then go and die," says my elder sister and continues to thread a garland for Nani's Gopalji. Nani stands by her and says loudly, "You are my precious Lakshmi," with the intention that I should hear. In the afternoons, I tell the younger children horror stories of ghosts and demons who lived in the walnut tree. I tell them that if they should wake up at 12 o'clock on a full moon night, they would see children being bathed in blood. They would also hear the ghosts speaking through their noses, which at first is difficult to follow. The children follow me all over the house like mice following the Pied Piper. "Move aside," says Hari's mother. who is carrying a tray laden with glasses of tea into the room. Move! This is not for you. It's for the grown-ups. Move out of my way. Hari's mother's nose is like a frog's and her eyebrows meet above her nose. Whenever she laughs, her cheeks hang loose like bats. Do move aside, she says to me again. I won't, I say, and try to block her way. I'll only move if you say girls are nice. All right, I have said it. So now move out of the way, says Hari's mother. No, I persist. Say it properly. Oh, Hari's ma, what's happening? Asks Masi irritably from the room. Are you going to bring the tea next year or what? Hari's mother knits her thick eyebrows together and says, This Lali's middle daughter won't let me. She starts laughing, and as she does so, her frog-like nose bobs up and down. I can hear Ma naming me and saying, That girl must be harassing her. She was born only to plague my life. Someone in the room advises her that she should not get angry in her condition. For a long time I sit outside the house watching the birds flying and wishing that I had been born a bird. Do mother birds too think their girl birds are inferior? I wonder. Then I hear a voice calling, Where has she gone? And I know someone is searching for me. I hide behind the wall where no one can ever find me. I wish that somewhere, anywhere, I could find that magic beetle nut which would make me invisible as soon as I put it in my mouth. What wonderful fun that would be. Where are you, girls? Calls Nani with a tray of crimson powder in her hands. In front of her there is a dish of halwa and a plate filled with puris she has prepared as offerings to the Devi on Ashtami day. A mat has been spread in front of her for us to sit on. Come on, girls, let me put the tika on your foreheads. She lights the camphor for Aarti. Come now, let me do Aarti to all of you. My two sisters and Mama's beautiful daughters sit cross-legged in front of Nani. She puts a tika on each forehead and then rings a bell, exactly like the guard on the train. After the bell rings, she blows the conch. Pooh! I am suddenly transformed into a railway engine and race around the ledge of the courtyard. I shout, Come on, pay your fares to go to Calcutta. Pooh! In the background, I hear Nani saying, Come on, dear, let me put the tika on you. You are my Kanyakumari, aren't you? No, I retort, I'm an engine. Mama's son claps his hands with excitement and says, Oh, an engine, an engine. Suddenly, I see Ma waddling towards me with a clenched fist, and my stomach grows tight with fear. Her face is filled with rage. I'll make an engine out of you this very minute. The elderly neighbor intervenes, catches hold of Ma's hand and says, Have you gone mad, Lali? She signals to me to obey and adds, She's after all a child, a Kanyakumari. Today is Ashtami, the Devi's day. You mustn't hit a Kanyakumari. That's a sin. I jump down from the ledge with a thud and see Nani serving the other girls halwa puri with a tightly clenched mouth. Go on, take the prasad from Nani. Why do you make your mother cry when she's in this condition? Masi asks me irritably. When you people don't love girls, why do you pretend to worship them? My voice breaks into a sob and I feel so furious with myself that I want to swallow the burning camphor to choke my treacherous throat. I want to ask why again, but don't risk it because I'm afraid I will start to cry. I don't want to cry in front of these people. Hari's mother addresses the wall, saying, Just listen to her. What a temper for a girl to show. Nani is distributing a rupee and a quarter to each girl. I notice the mark of the crimson powder on the tip of her thumb like a blood stain. I start moving back towards the wall and screaming, I don't want all the halwa puri, tikka or money. I don't want to be a goddess. I scream so loudly that the pigeons pecking at the scattered grain in the courtyard take off in a flurry as if a bullet had been fired somewhere. As always, I like my listeners to re-listen and ponder over many aspects of the story and wonder. It is always tragic to talk about how girls are treated in this country, but isn't it also weird that our feminists very often get the wrong end of the stick and do not address the elephant in the room, that women themselves can be so harsh, so lacking in understanding, so cruel, so oppressive towards one another. And I taught this story in class a long time ago, and I'm still saluting the lady who dared to write such an honest story.